Yeah, nice night out. Nice night for a walk. Share my thoughts. Yep. A scorcher of a day. Nice and hot, just like this video is going to be a scorcher. Now before I get into the meat of this video, I want something I'd like to address offhand. If this makes it onto Facebook, which I'm going to try to have it go on Facebook, this will be my last video of this nature on here. I've recently opened a Parler account, I believe that's how you pronounce it, and that seems to be a more conservative-minded site for posting controversial material, the likes of history, politics, religion, culture, all that good shit that creates a lot of controversy and interesting discussion. My Parler, my name on there is Thad Turner 1010. Also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Christian Red Pill Minister. Capital C, capital R, capital P, and capital M. Christian Red Pill Minister. That's where I like to post my videos, where I'm usually walking down the tracks, like right now, and sharing things. Now, yeah, what I wish to address in this video is, well, as I've been telling my white red pill brethren, and I'm trying to get through to you guys, you know, the best I can here. Say some things that you probably are not going to maybe agree with at times, or certainly like. And to anybody who is not, they're probably going to listen to this and be pissed off and mad. And that's good. That's good. I want to anger people with this material. It is very controversial. It is very divisive. I am out to kind of anger and upset people. That is my purpose. My purpose is not really to make friends. If I happen to, great. If I don't, hey, no skin off my nose. You know, that's kind of where I'm at. And with that being said, to my white red pill brothers, you know, the best thing you can do right now, and you're kind of fighting a losing battle in a lot of ways. Best thing you can do is to where you're at is to vote for the re-election of one Donald Trump, President-elect Donald Trump. This
coming election and wage a war on a gender war, you know, on the feminists in your community, in your culture. An all-out war on feminism to eliminate, eradicate, and destroy. And it might be too late. You know what? It might be too late at this point. But as I see it, this is your best chance. Just like re-electing Trump, voting for Trump. No, he ain't perfect, but he's the best option you got at this point. That's it. That's all I'm going to say on that. With that being said, I want to share some very candid thoughts and ideas, or just opinions on what I think of Islam, you know. Now, in our culture, where I'm at, in all these government-owned schools and colleges and all this, you hear time and time and time again about you hear time and time again, and have done shoved down your throats time and time again, the transatlantic slave trade of Africans to Europeans. You've heard about this. Everybody knows it firsthand. Not just black people, but also white people, because we're having it shoved down our throats constantly. We're constantly having to hear about it, whether we want to or not. You know. Yep, we're constantly hearing about it. You know, on social media, I you know, every black person or American Indian or whatever, they always bring up usually the transatlantic slave trade and about, of course, about the stolen land, American Indians and how they got their land stolen, genocide on the Native Americans, American Indians, whatever you want to term you prefer to call them, I guess. Me, I call them American Indians or Amerindians. That's, to me, that's the correct term, but whatever. With that being said, we hear about this constantly. We never hear, never, and this is where I'm going to get a little ramped here. We never at all hear, because I didn't know about this either, about the Barbary slave trade. The Barbary slaves. That was the slaves of the Islamic slaves. The slaves that the Muslims owned in Africa. And they also owned black people, but I want to stick with white people. Because this was far-reaching. The extent to which Arab and Africans owned white European slaves. And this happened concurrent with the transatlantic slave trade. And it happened over a period of 100 years, 1600 to 1700. It was right around the time that America was becoming starting to become a nation and was being created, I guess you'd say, you know, right before the Revolutionary War. And I think it even continued a little after it. It was over 100 years. It affected, get this number, over 1 million. Over 1 million white Europeans were affected by this slave trade. Over 1 million. Okay, get that through your heads. And if I can get, if white people, especially white Christians, can get that into their heads, beat that into their psyches, you guys are going to be, well, much better off. And I would encourage you to do this. And I would encourage you to teach your families and your children about this. Because they're teaching our children about the transatlantic slave trade. As it was always a horrible thing. And it was. I'm not denying that. However, we can't act like, you know, one injustice does not equate to another injustice. Or that one was far worse than the other. It wasn't. Muslims believed in chattel slavery. They they captured and humiliated their prisoners. They castrated the men a lot of times, oftentimes. They raped the women. The women were sex slaves. The children became sex slaves. Islam has always been, since its founding in the 7th century, a religion of dominance, humiliation, sexual debauchery, sexual debauchery and humiliation. Muhammad himself was a bigamist and a pedophile. So this is what I have to say about Islam. Screw Islam. In fact, this is what I really think of Islam as a whole. This is what I think of Islam. That's what I got for them. That's what I want. That's what I feel about Islam. Right there. Read and weep. Read it and weep. Islam is not a peaceful religion. It is not a religion of peace. It is a religion of violence. It always has been. It always will be. We've got them growing in massive numbers in my area, Minneapolis, or close enough to Minneapolis anyway, southern Minnesota. They're growing in massive numbers. It's being shoved down our throats. I do not like it. I do not like those people. I do not want them here. That is all I'm going to say on that. And that's time that we stand up and say something about this. And say what we really feel about this. And that it's not okay. And yeah, I don't give a shit what people think. That's what I feel about Islam. Screw Muhammad. Screw Islam. They haven't changed. They don't want to change. They're not here to assimilate. They're here to take over and conquer. When can you get that through your heads? Oh yeah? When? I'm asking. You know? And Black Lives Matter, the same thing. They're the same type of group. In fact, they're part of Islam. They're associated and affiliated with them. So screw them as well. You know? I'm a Christian. And I'm a conservative. I'm not ashamed of any of those things. And we fought to end slavery. We actually waged a war on slavery to end it. Christians waged a war on slavery, the Civil War. I don't care what people say. Yeah, maybe it was partly fought over states' rights as well. But the issue was it was fought over slavery and ended due to slavery. White people, white Christians died over that issue. Fought each other and died over that issue. So take that. Whereas Islam is still practicing slavery till this day. So don't give me that crap. You know. And again, yeah, that's all I had to say on that. And with that being said, I want to keep this controversial content more on Parler and YouTube. Keep it off Facebook, more or less. Although you know where I stand with Donald Trump and that I'm supporting him this election. That's all I have. And with that, that's all I have to say. Because at the end of the day,